Good morning, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports. Excuse me, it's good afternoon, and here I am. And as you can tell, my studio is slightly different. I mean, look at this space. It's clearly not the place that you're used to. I just moved in. We are now Rooftop Sports is in Kennydale, Renton, Washington, just about a few
Ooh,
minutes. Yes, about a few minutes away from the VMAX Center, and just got
how
Wi-Fi
about
set up.
that?
That's why. Yeah, I just got the Wi-Fi set up. That was why I was 3 minutes late because I was just setting up internet. Like I was running from other house to this house. Now here I am, and Steve, it has been such a long time. Happy
Yes, sir.
Independence Day.
Thank you. Happy 4th of July to you as well too. Yeah, listen, it's been a minute. And of course the soccer stream on Stateside Footy has been relatively busy. So for all you soccer nuts, head over there and hit the subscribe button. But listen, it's very rare that I have an opportunity to jump on and watch a little Mariner baseball, and I know that we got the ill Pittsburgh Pirates, so it should be fun, and we'll see how it goes. But I figured it's the 4th of July. I got the American flag behind me, and I'm also wearing the green and gold, so I'm ready to go.
I'm literally in my clothes that didn't care to get dirty while I was moving. So clearly I am underdressed for show standards. But yes, not Sonic's stuff is very fitting because it is fittingly. It is how many years has it been? It's now Oklahoma City Thunder just celebrated its 17th birthday on that day of July 2nd, 2008, when Greg Nichols just couldn't even wait a couple weeks to watch Clay Bennett's partner, Aubrey McClendon, lose 90% of his fortunes. And
I know.
had he held to that lease, I know hindsight's 2020, but had he held to that lease, I think history could have been written a little bit differently. Or Clay Bennett could have said, nah, screw it. I'm going to hold it till the end. But we don't know. We just don't know. But what we would have liked to see is
Mhm.
we can maybe AI will tell us like, hey, what if Greg Nichols held on to the team until 2010? Maybe AI knows. Maybe they'll find out within a couple years with how much advancing technology that is. But anyways, to not to
Mhm.
get too much off topic, we got some Mariners baseball where they are coming off of a very disappointing series split. And what really stood out to me yesterday was Julio Rodriguez's amazing golden sombrero, where two of them were with pitches that were in the dirt. One of them where it was just completely like a do not swing situation. And then he
Right.
doesn't swing at a clear strike. So a lot of the Julio fans, like a lot of Julio gazers, are like, oh no, he's just 24 years old. He'll figure when? When's he gonna figure it out? It's not, I don't think it's a youth problem. I think it's a fundamental problem which he clearly lacks. And it's very concerning because if we at least had 2022 Julio Rodriguez, we'd probably be possibly division leaders rather than just fringing on the wild card and having Cal Raleigh do all the work.
Yeah, it sounds about right. It sounds about right. What have we been saying for a couple of years now that Julio Rodriguez, like in a vacuum, is a very talented baseball player, but the maturity is still an issue. The plate discipline is still an issue, and it turns out that while everyone was waiting for Julio Rodriguez to match the hype and be that face of the franchise, it turns out that Cal Raleigh ended up being the face of the franchise, and it's absolutely well deserved. Cal Raleigh was just unbelievable.
As he has been unbelievable. Like he's putting up like home run wise, he's in the same category with Mark McGuire, Ken Griffey Jr., Sammy Sosa, and Barry Bonds. And he is just six
Right.
home runs away from tying the major league record for home runs in the first half. And I think it's clear that he holds now the major league record for home runs in the first half by a catcher. I don't think anyone has ever done this. So this is considered extremely unprecedented on so many different levels. And it's great to see that Cal Raleigh is contributing very well. And we were kind of wondering, like, when would he take that next step? And so
Right.
far he has. And it's gotten to the point where could he get to that 50 to 60 home run? But the thing is, we all thought about that for Ken Griffey Jr. And next thing you know, he has a very slumping August of 1997 and then August of 1998. But here, as Mariners fans, we're just hoping the Mariners just squeak into the playoffs.
Totally. Totally. Well, and I hope it's not, that's the thing that I hope is, that we're playing, we're playing 500 ball to the point where, we actually have to rally at the end of the year and try to squeak in. I'd like to see some sort of, I'd like to see some sort of stretch of baseball where it's undeniable, and we, put ourselves in a position where, not necessarily we run away with the wild card, but also put us in a position where we don't necessarily have to scramble the last month of the season.
Yeah, I agree. And we're getting close to that start of that game. And thank goodness I was able to get the Wi-Fi just set up and ready to go. I mean, kind of helps when someone worked at Best Buy for about almost half a decade. So still that part of my life is still paying off. And here we got Brian Wu. And this first pitch will be brought to you by SeatGeek. And most importantly, Happy Independence Day. That's what it's brought to you by, is the United States of freaking America, baby.
The United States.
Brian Wu with a four-seam fastball, sinker, slider, changeup, and a sweeper. And before we get to this first pitch, this is also brought to you by What a Freaking Mess. Yeah, what the hope is, there's expected to be some jerseys in the background, and I need some blinds for my windows too. But at least you see the Spartan helmet and all that stuff.
Yeah, no, I was wondering what happened to your cool background.
Yeah, well, kind of moving happened. That's what it did. And now here's
Oh,
that
so
first pitch.
when did that
Brought
happen?
to you by, here it is. And that is low for a ball. Well, we've been moving for about a course of the last 2 weeks. And we are intending to sell that Sammamish house. And yeah, fittingly, yesterday, that was my last show in that house. Who would have thought? And now the 1-0 pitch, and that's the foul ball. But yeah, pretty fitting that I leave the house. That's how I left the house. I left the house with the Mariners losing. Pretty fitting. Cool backgrounds to cool stack boxes. You can't
Yeah,
that.
I got the. That's the thing. It's like up
1-1.
on that shelf, way up there, you got the Mariner hats up there, and then obviously we got Clint Dempsey right here. But then we got the retro Seahawk. That was just added, by the way. Actually, this was 1980s retro, and it's signed by the one and only Mr. Steve Largent. Yeah.
1-2, up high for a ball. So yeah,
So
I think maybe throughout the course of this video, you're probably going to see me during commercial break. You're going to see me taping up some jerseys up there.
You got any cool softball videos today?
You know what? I'll post them all. I'll show them all. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there goes Brian Wu. And I might as well tell you the story of what happened on my third game of the season. Softball was very intense. It went down to the very last inning by 1 run too. So you'll hear about that. It was a rivalry game too. Like the game, like this kind of game, it's like a Yankees Red Sox game, a good Mariners team versus the Astros, Giants and Dodgers, Padres Dodgers, that kind of rivalry.
Okay.
So you'll get the explanations on that.
So did you? By the way, have you improved on your home run trot?
No.
Because the last softball video, you tried really hard. You got a good connection there, and then you kind of dropped the bat, and you're kind of doing a little walk down first base, and then you started getting into your run. I was like, oh no,
one pitch, and that's gonna be popped up and fouled. No, I intend to hit more like singles and like extra base hits, more like the Ichiro kind of approach.
I got you.
Because I can make it up with speed. And we got 0-2 for Andrew McCutcheon, and that was Ken Griffey Jr.'s favorite player, but remember with Linda Cohn, he answered it very unenthusiastically. Who is your favorite? Who do you think is the best player in the league? McCutcheon. We're at 0-2 for the Andrew McCutcheon. Still playing in this league. Still amazing that he is still hanging around in Major League Baseball. I think he's been around for almost 15 years. And now we've got the 0-2. And now here is the pitch. And that is outside for a ball. And Gamer 11, one of the Julio people. I will not put up
Yeah,
with
I
Julio
saw that.
slander. Knock it off, goofy balls.
I saw that, and I'm like, listen, man, you can be a fan and all that's great, but also you
1-2
have to
pitch. Swing and
be
a miss. Strike 3. Down he goes. 2 strikeouts already for Brian Wu.
you have to be a little realistic with what you're seeing, and okay, listen, the first 2 years you can say, okay, great, man, he had very, very good, if not MVP caliber second halves, but last year was not a great year, and so far this year there have been spurts, but it hasn't been an overall level of consistency with his play. And
And the pitch.
You have to
Low
be able
for
to
a
take the
ball.
good with the bad.
You got
You have
to.
to be able to,
Telling
yeah,
you, Gamer
you got
11,
to.
we're challenging you on this one. And please do
Listen,
keep
I
us
like Julio
engaging.
too, but my eye, that's the thing, is my eyes do not fool me when it comes to player rebounds.
Now we're at 1-0, and now here's the pitch. And that is inside for a ball. That is 2-0 on Ryan Reynolds, who's actually on my fantasy baseball team.
Oh.
And I know, TK, from cool backgrounds to a stack of boxes, but throughout the show, you'll see me updating it more. Now here's 2-0, and that's going to be a foul ball. It'll be from like posters to jerseys, and interestingly enough, I actually just got a new Desmond Mason jersey because
Wow.
the thing is, it's like, as a
Sky
Sonics
Pilot?
fan, yeah, the Cowboy. And as much as I'm a diehard Sonics fan, I just feel like getting a Peyton and Kemp jersey, it just feels too mainstream. Like, I have to really show that I'm a true fan. And that's one of those more obscure players, the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. I actually got to talk to Desmond Mason last week at the Lenny Wilkens statue unveiling ceremony. Went to the after party and got to crash into the Desmond Mason. Pretty
Very
cool
good.
guy.
Very good.
And I do have a video on that, so I'll be happy to share that. As we're at 2-2 for Brian Reynolds. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And recently, we have also seen some pretty exciting possible Sonics updates, including the great David Aldridge. He's even hinted that there could be a good amount of owners that could be interested in expansion, and they do think that Seattle should get the first dibs, including Vegas.
I would
2-2.
I would also think that as well too.
We can only hope. But then we also have goons like James Dolan that's like, well, I don't want an expansion team because I don't want competition for my crappy Knicks team.
That's so fun.
Yeah, we're looking at 3-2, but he says no to everything. He's very unlikable. 3-2, that's going to be a foul ball. I mean, this is the same guy that chased away Patrick Ewing, arguably chased away Jeff Van Gundy, had a scandal under his watch with Isaiah Thomas, an employee. Yeah, let's listen to that guy. He has no credibility.
That's funny. No, I hear you.
Signing off on Jerome James for $30 million. I'm no disrespect to Jerome James, but I mean, gave $30 million to a guy for one playoff series, and that's going to be ball 4, take your base, and Brian Reynolds gets on base with a walk.
Are you? So let me get this straight. You're really trash talking James Dolan, right?
I will do it to the core.
So did you ever see the video of James Dolan and his band? So James Dolan is playing like acoustic guitar and he's singing, but they're doing covers of like Three Dog Night.
I saw it for 3 seconds, and there's a reason I hit the X button. And we got a base hit to the corner, and I think this might score in the run. Brian Reynolds is still running up to third base, and now we've got a man on second and third. Oh. But yeah, James Dolan, very cringy music. I mean, ugh. No wonder he made himself very unlikable.
Yeah, it's funny.
And he also got Charles Oakley to attack him too at Madison Square Garden.
Yeah, because I think the story goes that Dolan had Oakley banned from MSG, and apparently Oakley didn't take it all that well.
And it was met with really unpopular opinion. Everyone went on Oakley's side, and I would too. The pitch, low for a ball. I mean, that's like John Stanton banning Jay Buhner, if we're comparing of that caliber.
Yeah,
I think that would be the equivalent.
That would be 100. That would be 100% right on that one right there.
Yeah, because Charles Oakley was a very beloved role player, above a role player, other than Patrick Ewing of those 1990s Knicks, and that was a fierce, well-respected Knicks team, and that's the team that James Dolan inherited, and look what he did to it after 1999.
The 94 New York Knicks were very, very good.
Actually, Starks, Derek Harper.
The 93 Knicks, the Knicks that took the Bulls to like 6 or 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals. That was a really good Knicks.
93 was Eastern Conference, 6 games. They had a 2-0 lead and then blew it all. The year before that was Eastern Conference semis in 92. And that one was taken all the way to 7 games with the nasty Xavier McDaniel.
Yeah,
we're at 2-2 for Cruz. The pitch low for a ball, and
you don't ever rip the X-Man.
No, and it's kind of been trendy that Mariners are losing control. They're not having good command. Like Logan Evans struggled all of that last night. Most of the bullpen struggled. It looks like Brian Wu is starting to struggle with his command as well.
Yeah, I would agree.
3-2. And a foul ball. Or no, actually it's a fly ball, and this is actually could be trouble. And Randy Arozarena makes the catch, a sliding catch. It looks like nobody was talking. That was my concern. But that will retire the side. And we go to the bottom of the first inning. And what do you want to see first? Do you want to see me hitting a triple? Do you want to see me talking to Desmond Mason? Or the worst trade?
Let's go Desmond Mason.
Desmond Mason while I set up my Desmond Mason jersey on my wall.
So here I am with former slam dunk champion of the Seattle Supersonics, Desmond Mason, and we're here at the Lenny Wilkens after party. One of the greatest things I remember about him was his game-tying slam dunk to send the game to overtime against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, tell me about that. Like, what do you really remember about that moment?
The ball was going to Gary. We all knew that. Best thing was for everybody to get out of the way. And so I ran to the corner. Jamal Mashburn was actually guarding me. Rashard Lewis was under the basket. I think Brent Barry was on the floor as well. We threw the ball into Gary, and he took a dribble. We had a guy wide open at the top of the key, but he was never passing that ball. Spun, shot a 3 for the win. It hit the front of the rim, I think, and then the back of the rim and came off the front. And Jamal turned his head, and I just kind of ran in behind him. I was pretty far away, so I kind of threw it in, but I caught it lefty. I went up with my right to catch it, and it bounced the other direction. Lefty. Overtime. We beat him in overtime.
Thank you, Leo Nguyen, for filming this video. Check out his Instagram page, Leo Community Gardens, and he also sells cool merchandise, including the Seattle hat with Sonics colors.
Desmond Mason.
Excellent.
And there's my Desmond Mason jersey.
Was he the Sky Pilot? Was that Desmond Mason? Was that his nickname, the Sky Pilot? Or what was his?
He was the cowboy because he was from Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. What was the but he had a nickname. Was he the Sky Pilot, or is that Ruben Patterson?
I think that was Ruben. No, let's see who the Sky Pilot was.
Yeah.
Jalen Rose was Sky Pilot, I think.
Okay. Jalen. All right.
Ruben Patterson was the self-proclaimed Kobe stopper.
Yeah, he was the Kobe stopper. But that's actually pretty cool, man. How long has Desmond been out of the game now? For a while.
And since 2009, when he was cut by the Sacramento Kings in just 4 games. And he was my favorite player to use throughout NBA Live 2003. Like every time I just had Gary Payton, I just give it to Desmond Mason. He just goes for a flying dunk every time.
I was thinking about getting one of those old NBA games to play on the PS5, like an NBA 2K, NBA Live, 2K.
2003. Yeah,
something along those lines. But yeah, man. So
2-0 pitch for JP Crawford.
Awesome.
The pitch. That's gonna be a strike. Yeah, he's a cool guy, and he was emceeing and leading that. He was hosting that event to the after party. So pretty cool of Desmond Mason to do that.
Didn't I just hear? Didn't Lenny Wilkens give a speech at this?
Yeah, he gave it was for his as JP Crawford just grounded out. It was his statue unveiling, so he had a few words to say along with the great
Okay.
Steve Smith, Governor Jay Inslee, former governor,
Boo.
Governor Bob Ferguson.
Boo.
Yep. And
So,
some other Sonics
okay.
people.
And did, in the statue unveiling, did he talk about the Sonics returning?
Now here's a ground ball right to second base. Throw to first in time. No, he didn't say a thing about it.
Okay.
Maybe he just doesn't want to say anything. He doesn't want to, or he doesn't want to put out empty promises like every other former Sonic legends do. They're like, oh yeah, we should get a team back. Oh yeah, we'll get a team back real soon. I don't think he wants to do that anymore.
Yeah,
And
no,
nobody should.
I hear you.
Like Gary Payton was doing that like every 5 years. He's like, yeah, I think we'll get a team by 2011. Yeah, I think we'll get a team by 2017. Yeah, I think we'll get a team back by 2025. It's like, okay, Gary, what do you really know, kind of thing.
Yeah, but that's Gary though, man. Gary's always gonna be the the quintessential Sonic that is always gonna be lobbying for a team to return. I don't have a problem with all that because I don't necessarily think they're empty promises. I just think that he's just wants the Sonics to return.
I mean, we all do. I mean, the Sonics leaving Seattle literally ruined my entire high school.
It was tough, man. It was tough.
And here's a pop up into, it's going to be for the catcher. Nope, it's going to be a foul ball. And half of my college was spent on trying to fight for that Soto arena.
What was interesting is that after the street vacation, and within a month, they announced the OBG Key Arena rebuild. I was 100% on the Key Arena rebuild. The interesting thing is, I got the impression early on that the NBA didn't want Chris Hansen; they wanted Steve Ballmer. And the interesting thing was, is if Steve Ballmer was the one that was leading, let's just play hypothetical, right? That it wasn't Chris Hansen, but it was Steve Ballmer leading that group, and Chris Hansen was like a minority investor, and it was Steve Ballmer. Chances are very good that the Sacramento Kings would have came north.
Yeah, I think Hansen should have tried to let Steve Ballmer take the charge rather than himself. It should have been like, Hansen, take care of your arena. Steve Ballmer, get the team. So, it also didn't help that. Oh, now here's a fly ball to deep left field, and that is gone. That is a home run number 34 for Cal Raleigh. As much as we were talking about the Sonics, Cal Raleigh's like, shut up.
Wow.
Watch us hit a home run, and the Mariners
Number
now jump out to
34.
a 2-0 lead, and the magic number is 5 to get to Barry Bonds.
Wow. Hey, by the way, so it is July 4th, and Cal Raleigh has 34 home runs.
Very fitting.
That's insane. Like he's gonna finish in the 50s. He's gonna finish in the 50s when it's all said and done.
If he keeps up with that pace.
And he'll be the first Mariner player to hit 50 bombs in a season since junior, I believe. I don't think Gayrod ever hit 50 in a Mariner year.
No, he never did. He hit 42 at most. Now here's Randy Rosarena with a lazy swing and a miss. And yeah, maybe let's just keep talking Sonics, and maybe the Mariners will just start hitting more on the offense. I mean, Dom Canzone hit a home run last night, and Joe and I were talking about Sonics basketball.
That's funny.
Here's the 0-1, and that's going to be a swing and a miss.
Have you ever read Jeff Baker's Kraken book?
Never read it.
It was the origins of the Kraken, but he has two chapters that dive into the Chris Hansen Soto project. And the interesting thing is how universally he wasn't liked by certain members of Seattle's political class. And he came off aggressive and he came off arrogant. And the interviews that he publicly made, like on Sports Radio 950 KJR and 710 at the time, where he comes off kind of humble, a Northwest kid.
I remember that, yeah.
Yeah, trying to come back and do right by Sonics fans that felt burned, and how he was like, that was for show, and then in private when he was meeting with.
Now here's a fly ball to deep right field and oppressed by the Marine layer.
When he was meeting with the former mayor, what's his name?
Mike McGinn.
No,
Or
the
Ed Murray.
guy. And
Ed
the
Murray
one
was
that
after Mike McGinn.
the guy that had to leave office because of all the
Ed Murray.
Ed Murray.
It was Ed
Okay,
Murray.
so anyway, Chris Hansen met with Ed Murray on like 4 different occasions, and every single time they met, he would rub Ed Murray the wrong way because he was so arrogant. And that's the interesting thing. It was he just acted. He was acting like this is just like a kind of a foregone conclusion. And the interesting thing is that he also met with city council members, and it was the exact same thing. It's like Chris Hansen was not necessarily universally liked by the people that were the ones that were the gatekeepers for him to get his arena built.
It's true, as the Mariners just got out of the inning, and as much as I was a pro Soto to the core, at one point I was like FOVG for a while until I realized that they really knew what they were doing. But the one thing Hansen did not have any idea was he had no idea how to play Seattle politics. Like, he had no idea what he was doing on that. Like, he
thought his money would and his status would sway it, not understanding that you're not taking the temperature of the room at the time. Is that Seattle had arena fatigue by that time, right? Because the Mariners literally strong-armed the city and the county to get Safeco Field built, and Paul Allen barely got Lumen Field built. Like that vote was
barely
close.
It was
barely,
like right here.
And by the time that
right
the Sonics came around, came around, Seattle literally had arena fatigue, and Chris Hansen shows up, and he's like, like whatever, we'll get it done. And it's like that's it. Just
he also got Soto initially approved literally at the skin of his teeth too. Like literally, it felt like he had to bribe his way to get into it, which he kind of did. And the other problem with the street vacation thing too was he thought that was a foregone conclusion when even us fans knew that no, we had a lot of work to do. And the worst part of it was he made us fans do all the testifying work.
Well, the interesting thing was Ed Murray from the beginning was like, you need to adjust this for NHL first, because there were 2 different buyers for the Phoenix Coyotes that were ready to step in, buy him, and move him to Seattle to be a part of that Soto Arena project, right? Because at the very least, the Seattle politicians realized early that NHL first was going to be your best way to get that arena built. Like they were willing, at one time, they were willing to let the Key Arena go by the wayside, as long as he played this smartly. And that was one of the things. It was like NHL first, NBA second. It's going to allow you to get your building up. And actually,
now here's a fly ball to center field, and Julio's there and makes the catch.
Yeah, like you're willing to get your building up, and you're going to get a tenant in there that's going to make you money until you can actually get an NBA team. But Chris Hansen was steadfast, no. But here's the interesting thing: that the Seattle councilman, the Seattle City Council, actually paid it's AEG's main architect. He's a freelancer. And they commissioned a report on Key Arena to find out if Key Arena would be viable for some sort of rebuild. And they commissioned this report, and it came back, and they kept it under wraps. This never got leaked to the media until afterward, because they didn't like Chris Hansen to a point where they went back to Key Arena, and they commissioned this report. And the report said not only can Key Arena be rebuilt, if they tilt the actual arena floor, it would create more space. And so they kept this report in their drawer because they knew exactly how the Soto Arena was going to play out. And then sure enough, right before that street vacation, that's when they were having behind the scenes talk.
1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. But yeah, the other thing
they had
noticed.
They also had that public. They had that little public thing where they were taking bids for Key Arena rebuilds, right? That was like for public show, but they had been talking to OVG before that street vacation.
Yeah, and if it would have been nice too if maybe we knew a little bit earlier, because before OVG, everything was hopeless. And even if Chris Hansen was doing his I'll fund it myself, they still didn't really care. They still told him to screw off. And the other thing also, which is also kind of fitting, is the NBA didn't really seem to like Chris Hansen either. And I think that was also a significant reason why they said no to Sacramento. So yeah,
they liked Steve Ballmer. They loved Steve Ballmer. But the crazy thing is that, and again, like I was telling you, that Chris Hansen rubbed Seattle politicians the wrong way. He also rubbed Adam Silver the wrong way as well too.
And David Stern.
And the crazy thing is that, and then of course the Sacramento debacle, where he was funding the opposition to build that, funding the
that lawsuit, that must have been the last straw for everyone. That's probably why. Now it makes sense why Hansen's just holding on to that land as real estate at this point.
Right, but I mean, it's expensive real estate. But the interesting thing though is that if you've been to Climate Pledge Arena, that's a gorgeous arena.
I was impressed. Like, I went to a couple of Storm games, and I'm going next week. Then going to a Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese game. Every time I went there, I was really surprised. Like, I didn't think they were going to pull it off, but when it's OVG, not only are they competent at building stadiums, OVG also has deep connections with the NBA, which is why Seattle would have to try really, really hard to not get an expansion team.
They're, one of their owners, one of Kraken's, I think Kraken's majority owner is Bonderman. He was the Celtics minority owner, but also OVG was bankrolled by James Dolan and MSG. So if anybody knows exactly what the NBA wants for an expansion city, it's OVG, and they're going to have to bide their time. But the Sonics will return one day; they will.
It's just a matter of how those meetings go, which is in July. Which I'm trying to see if there's time.
They want to know exactly what their cut of revenue would be like with two more teams in the league, and and I think that if the other owners are still going to make a substantial amount of money, it's not going to matter. But it's going to be nice going down to Little Caesars Arena in Detroit to watch the Green and Gold play again.
Yep, and for me to watch some Sonics basketball, we're at 1-2 for Bart, and we're at 2 outs. I mean, here's the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-2.
So let me ask you real quick, how is Climate Pledge for basketball?
I keep going to it. Like, when I was there,
I mean, aesthetically, does it look like a big time NBA arena?
I would say so, but I need to go to one of those Rain City kind of like those preseason games to get a real impression of it. Yep. I just haven't gone to that because I've only gone WNBA and I just never made time. But this year I am planning to this time just so I can see what it's like.
I wish we had a WNBA. I wish we had a WNBA team in Detroit still. They used to have the Detroit Shock, but dude, I want to see Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever play.
I mean, you can come to Seattle and we'll go to a game on August 3rd.
Yeah.
As we're at 2-2. And I know a guy, 2-2. Not going to say it too loud. Swing and a miss, strike. That's going to retire this side.
Yeah. All my travel. So I'm coming back to Seattle in December for the holidays. But my big trip that I'm planning for right now is in February. I'm going to London.
Oh, you're going to where?
London.
Oh, London. So you can watch some Tottenham.
That's exactly correct.
All right. Oh, next video. Worst trade in Sonics history, or when I hit a triple in softball?
Worst trade in Sonics history.
So I was recently asked, what was the worst trade in the history of the Seattle Supersonics? Some may think it was the Sonics trading away Scottie Pippen. Some think it was trading Shawn Kemp for Vin Baker. Wrong. I would say it was when former Seattle Mayor Greg Nichols traded away Kevin Durant, rookies Russell Westbrook and Serge Ibaka for $45 million on July 2nd, 2008. Yeah, the relocation to Oklahoma City. Never forget.
Yeah, never forget.
So was that really the worst trade in Sonics history?
Oh, come on.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, when you say trade, it's implicated that it's going to be like player for player type deal. And trading Sean Kemp was horrible. Not keeping Scottie Pippen was definitely the worst. The worst trade in Sonics history as far as player for player. But I would have to agree that the fact that Greg Nichols essentially strong-armed Clay Bennett to pay off Key Arena, to pay off the Key Arena bonds, I would have to concur here, because that's what it was. It was a strong arm. The only reason why Nichols and Seattle sued him was to ensure that they paid off the Key Arena bonds. The Seattle Supersonics were not even in consideration with that lawsuit.
Yeah, which is why when I read more of these really dark backstories, I hate saying it, it made me forgive Oklahoma. That's how bad the deal was. Like, you can't even blame Oklahoma. Oklahoma was probably like, with Clay Bennett, here's Mitch Garver. Clay Bennett was probably like, oh, thank you. Thanks,
We used to go down to Portland when they moved to Oklahoma City. We used to go down to Portland to protest the Thunder. So there'd be like 15 dudes in Sonics jerseys.
Now here's a fly ball to left field, and it's gonna be caught. And ironically, I've actually been connecting with some Oklahoma fans. They're actually easier to talk to than Seattle fans.
I would imagine.
Yeah, they're actually really
by the
nice.
way, how did that? I'm sorry for interrupting. How did that finals go anyway? Did they win it?
They won it all. And the way I saw it, I was like, you know what? Now us fans can just focus 100%, purely focus on rallying to get a team back rather than letting.
But that being said, it's been so far removed from their Seattle days that it has no impact anymore, right? It has been almost 20 years since they've been in Oklahoma City now, and they're not the zombie Sonics anymore.
It's got to the point where it was like, I felt the sting just because of bad memories. But other than that, it was like, okay.
It's like whatever.
Yeah, I mean, did it sting? Sure. It probably stung for a few moments, but then the next day I was like, okay.
Well, I haven't watched the NBA Finals since LeBron finally got Cleveland their first title in 2016. That's the last time that I've actually watched an NBA Finals from
Same here. As soon as he went to the Lakers, I also bolted, and the only thing I was paying attention to was fantasy basketball, as Dylan Moore just struck out.
I don't think I watched the one when we did that live stream with the Thunder and Nuggets. That was when I watched more than 2 quarters of basketball.
Yeah, same here. I mean, I did the entire freaking game as we got Ben Williamson, who swung and missed for an 0-1. And the last batter was Dylan Moore, and Dylan Moore is proving himself to be a DFA candidate real quickly. Now, here's the 0-1, and that is outside for a ball. Some may say that, why don't we just get rid of Dylan Moore and just call up Leo Rivas? I mean, Dylan Moore, his downfall has been pretty tragic.
I hear you, but Demo is the type of is he Demo? Is he starting regularly right now?
No,
okay.
He has not been getting consistent at bats anymore, and some may say that could be the driving factor. Because at least Dylan Moore was floating around, but he still got to bat. But now that Cole Young is up and Williamson is up, Luke Raley is back there, and Canzone is now actually hitting the ball, sort of. There's just not much room for him right now. The pitch.
Right.
Now here's a foul ball, but then there's a thing. But then if he gets injured, then Dylan Moore will have to step up again anyway. So he's kind of in a black hole right now.
And he's not the type of player you're going to send down to Tacoma to give him at bats, right? It's either you're going to DFA him, and if he clears, then he probably goes to Tacoma. But you would probably think that Demo's got a market out there. Some team would want to pick him up.
Someone out there,
to be that,
and a team that can give him a little bit more protection too. I mean, although you don't really build around Dylan Moore, but you have more. But if you throw him into the Dodgers, for example, I'm sure there could be a spot for him if there was room for him. But right now, they already have their Dylan Moore. That is Hesung Kim, who's been playing very well.
Yeah.
And now here's the 1-2, and now it's a foul ball. And that was one of the players I was begging the Mariners to go for. Because he was very fast, he's agile, and he's hitting well in Los Angeles. But I mean,
everyone's hitting well in Los Angeles.
I mean, when you're a kid in Korea, the first team you're going to watch in Major League Baseball is going to be the LA Dodgers, which makes sense because it is the biggest Korean community in the United States, and the check swing foul, as we're at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
A lot
Did
of
your,
forced
mic-
fastballs. What's
Never
up?
mind. I thought your mic cut out for a second.
Nah, I would
Nope,
hope not.
Sure did. Sure didn't. Yeah. So yeah, I'm kind of looking forward.
1-2.
So what's the?
Now here's a fly ball to center field. Nope, going to the center fielder and makes the catch.
What
And
is
I'll
the
retire the
scoop
sign.
with? What is the scoop for your Seattle Seahawks? How's that? Are they in training camp yet?
I've been very non-existent because all my attention has been not only has gone to the Mariners, but also that team over there too. Because ever since Oklahoma got deep in the playoffs and Adam Silver was saying, "Hey, we're going to talk about expansion," then I finally started catching up with the NBA again. And ironically, what really accelerated my interest was Oklahoma getting in. So you know what? Maybe Oklahoma having a deep playoff run, championship run, wasn't the worst thing because it got more Sonics fans to watch the NBA again and to give more attention to it. So maybe it wasn't the worst thing ever for Seattle Sonics fans. And plus, we need a team back quickly because I hate to say it, we are an aging fan base. Like you can go. I work in childcare. A lot of Gen Alphas. I tell them all these Sonic stories, and their brains are like, because
So it looks like that the NBA will begin their formal discussions actually this month, and it looks like Adam Silver has said that they're going to authorize the start of the formal expansion process, which would mean that Seattle and Las Vegas.
I mean, with David Bonderman, who unfortunately passed away on December 11th, 2024. But that is going to be left for I believe that's going to be his daughter. His daughter's going to be the one. And they can't go wrong with it because, I mean, David Bonderman, minority owner of the Celtics, so the connection is there. I mean, let's say hypothetically we went into Chris Hansen going into expansion process, we'd probably be screwed.
Right. The interesting, I don't think he wants any part of it, right? That's the arena that actually got built. I still think that he's still salty, right? But that being said, it's like, they're going to be able, OVG and those, that consortium that owns the Kraken are going to be, they'll figure it out. They'll figure out the ownership group of the new NBA team.
Yep. And there is more to it about Chris, and then we're at 1-0. And this is Isaiah Kiner Paleta.
All right, well,
can't even say it. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to J.P. Crawford. Go to first. And that is in time.
Well, don't Boris get to the chorus. What's up with Chris Hansen?
No, I mean, I know some friends I know people that were actually well connected to Chris Hansen. They kept telling him, like, hey, you got to do A, B, and C. Like, you got to do this with the city if you want to get your way and the NBA. And guess how many advices he listened to?
I wonder if the interesting thing is I'm wondering if there will be a ownership group that involves what's his ass, Wally Walker. I know that.
No. Do not bring Wally Walker into this.
Well,
again.
I know that when the initial offer from the Oklahoma City group came into the coffee guy,
Howard Schultz.
That Wally Walker essentially said, hey, listen, here's the thing. Before you say yes on this, give me a week so I can put together a competing offer. Because Wally Walker's really well connected when it comes to the millionaire and billionaire class of Seattle, right?
Yeah.
And then it was like 24 hours later, Schultz accepted the deal, right? Didn't even let him. Schultz said okay, and he wasn't even good to his word, right? But the interesting thing, though, is wouldn't it be interesting if Howard Schultz became the majority owner again in an ownership group for expansion? How do you think Sonics fans would feel if Howard Schultz was the majority owner in a consortium that applied for NBA expansion?
2-2, and that's going to be a foul ball. Well, you don't have. We don't.
As
I
a
don't think
as a
Sonics fans-
redo, as a gift, if you will, because I messed up the first time around, and now I understand what a public trust is, and I'm ready to give this gift back to Seattle.
2 things or 3 things. One, there's that fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame
Yep,
on me. So that
yep,
won't happen.
yep.
And actually, it's just 2 things. But number 2, he's already admitted that the NBA is just not for him, and he doesn't want to waste his time and money on it. So I don't think we have to worry about that anytime soon, as we're at 2, and he's not getting any younger either.
Well, and you can, there's. I heard somebody ask
2-2 pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball.
What about the Allen family? But the Allen family owns the Trailblazers, so they can't own 2 teams in the NBA.
They're trying to sell. They're trying to sell the Blazers, though. So what if the estate is looking to just be minority for the Sonics?
I'm wondering, is this going to be a situation with like the Nordstrom family and some of the other, big families pitching in 25%?
I wonder if Chris Hansen was smart, he would at least put in something for a team, like at least a minority stake, but he wouldn't even do that.
No, because the OVG is the double to Chris Hansen, right?
Yep.
OVG accomplished what Chris Hansen could.
And I think OVG even offered Chris Hansen, like, say, hey, you can help us, like you can partner with us if you want to. And then Chris Hansen just gave him the finger. He's like, no, I'll try to build that, rebuild I'll turn T Arena into an amphitheater, and that was not met well.
Yep.
And this is coming from a diehard Chris Hansen fan, but at the same time, I was like, yeah, but you also did not know how to play with the politics, as Randy Rosarena makes the catch.
100%. I agree with you. I agree.
Oh, I see that you have about 5 minutes.
Yep.
I totally understand. Like, it's the 4th of July, and
it's the 4th of July, right?
I'm thrilled that you gave 47 minutes.
Yeah, I got my. I gotta go down to my sister's house. Spend the fireworks with the niece and nephew. So, but I did jump on, like I said I would, and it's always fun having these conversations. But before I go though, it's going to be interesting how the rest of the season plays out for the Mariners, because now this is usually the start historically.
So here's a fly ball to right field, and that is going to be caught, and that will retire the side. Caught by Dylan Moore. And, yep, back to you.
I was going to say, because this historically is the month where the Mariners start getting hot. Last season it didn't happen, but the 3 seasons previous, the Mariners ended up having, better than excellent Julys that ended up getting into August. The month of August where they caught fire. So I'm cautiously optimistic for the month of July and the month of August, because the Mariners tend to get hot in the summer. But for me, it's all about the month of September, because the last couple Septembers have been absolute dog shit. But I'm curious. Like, that's the thing, is like I'm curiously optimistic, and I'm hoping that when it comes to the deadline, that the Mariners are absolutely proactive and are willing to potentially augment their starting rotation, potentially augment their bullpen if they can pluck a starter and a reliever, this deadline. But let me ask you a question: as far as the lineup goes, where do the Mariners most need help?
They need help on first base, because I don't know if Donovan Solano is still anything of sustainable. If the Mariners are willing to do it, and if they can negotiate at a fair price for Eugenio Suarez, because considering that we only got basically Carlos Vargas, who is erratic at best, I think the Mariners should try to.
What, to come play third?
Yeah, because as much as I like Ben Williamson so far, because he doesn't have to rely on home runs, he doesn't live and die by that, we also at the same time need some impact bats. Now, left field Randy Rosarena, you can't really replace him for now. Julio, you're not going to replace him. Dom Canzone, I don't trust him to do that every single day of hitting the occasional long ball, because he's still very streaky. First base has some problems. I mean, yeah, sure, you can maybe platoon with Luke Raley and Solano, but I wouldn't do that. Cole Young, fine. JP, fine because it helps to be motivated when you literally have what's their names? Cole Young, Cole Emerson, and Felding Celestine literally right on your butt. So of course he had to really like go, oh crap, I actually got to play.
And
but
how's
there's
Cole
no
Young been?
holes. Cole Young
Cole
is
Young?
about a 240 to 250, so he's not a complete dumpster fire.
Right, that's not bad. Yeah, I just think that if there was a summer to be very proactive, where you can at least bring in 3 impact guys, because I do believe that the Mariners probably could use some help in that rotation.
And they need help in the bullpen. And maybe
at least bring in at least one starter and one bullpen stud, as well as bringing in one impact bat. I think that would be
pitch.
Solid.
And that is a strike, and that is 2-2. But yeah, this is absolutely the deadline to do it. And I've been saying it every single year, but this American League has been very sluggish at best. So the Mariners just gotta put in the knife, put in the kill, no mercy, and not just rely on.
But it's also a season where if you don't do it this year, it feels like the wheels will eventually start to come off. You know what I mean? Like if they don't get it done this season, or at least get to the playoffs this season, attrition is a very real thing.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Yeah, struggles are going to be a thing.
Yeah, and I just don't think certain players are going to want to resign here. So I'll tell you what, it's been fun. I got to get going, so I want to thank you, and hopefully we can schedule something out where I'm available for the entire game, because I do enjoy these conversations and I do like coming on your live stream. So happy 4th to you. And I hope you have a very fun 4th of July evening. Are you have any plans tonight?
A burger.
Ooh, that sounds good. That sounds really good. Maybe
on a rooftop deck.
Ooh. Yeah, that's pretty high.
It's in the name.
Yep, I like it. All right, guys, chat. It's been good. Happy 4th to you, TK, and to the rest of you guys in the chat. I'm sure I'll see you guys sooner rather than later. Happy 4th,
I wouldn't doubt it. Happy 4th of July. And that was Steve. Thank you for being on this show. And now it's back to myself. And I just realized that my microphone is not even properly connected. So I got to fix that. And now here's the pitch. Now here's a ground ball. And that is going to be fielded and throw to first. That's going to be in time. I better find that USB thing really fast. Anyway, we got Julio Rodriguez up to the plate. Obviously, my microphone is not connected at all. Kind of embarrassing. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. On commercial break, I'm going to get my new microphone while enjoying some Mr. Beast. We're at 1-0 for Julio. Not bad. Julio, 12 doubles, 3 triples, and 11 home runs. Now here's the 1-0. Now here's the pitch. Up high for a ball. How's it going, Ray? And the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to deep right center field, but that's going to be fielded. And he makes the catch. And that's going to retire the side. And it's time for me to hit up a commercial break.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki with barbecue chicken. You put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki tiki. Tiki tiki with pineapple, garlic, feta, cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're gonna spread some barbecue on top. And it's ready. go, man. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
Bear with me. I'm just trying to get my microphone. All right, let's see if this microphone works. And we are back from the break. All right, let's get that microphone fixed. Testing, testing. Okay, that should be good. And now here is the pitch. And that is going to be a strike as we are back from the break. Now here's Brian Reynolds on the pitch. Gonna swing and a miss, and that is a strike. Oh, and 2 as we're at 0 and 2. Oh, 2. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3. Down goes Brian Reynolds. Yep, my microphone is a lot better on this one. Jen Mueller out there. And now the pitch. Now here's a liner, and that is going to be a base hit. Gets right through Cole Young. And now we got a man on first base. That was Gonzalez with the hit. This Mr. Beast blue raspberry thing isn't bad. It's just the quantities are suckish. And now I want to try to get this thing connected with my Instagram as well. Now here's O'Neal Cruz. And that is going to be low for a ball. And a pitch. Outside for a ball. It looks like my streaming is live right now. And that is a strike to O'Neal Cruz, 2 and 2. Got one out, man on first. I don't really need this after all. Now we're at 2 and 2. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball, 3 and 2.
And the 3-2 pitch. Outside for ball 4. Take your base. Be right back. I'm trying to find my tablet. Now here is Hayes up to the plate. Now we got men on first and second. Now here's a ground ball, double play ball, throw to second, and the throw to first, not in time. So we've got a play, at least two. No, I think bases are loaded. I think everyone is safe. That should have been a double play ball, but the throw was off course. Here's that throw by Cole Young. And looks like JP was off the bag, so there's no way that was safe. So it was a combination of a bad throw by Cole Young, and then JP Crawford was just too high. Now here's Frazier up to the plate, and now we got the bases loaded with just one out. Mariners are up 2-0 though. And now here's the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. And now we've got the 0-1 count. And this is Adam Frazier, the former Mariner. Now here's the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. 0-2. Now the pitch. And it's going to be swing and a miss, strike 3. Yep, he went around it, no doubt about it. I thought it was like a foul ball or something. And now we've got 2 outs. Now here is Bart up to the plate. Now here's the pitch. And that is inside for a ball. Want to know the count. And that's going to be a foul ball. Still 1-1. We're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss. Well, that's foul tip, and that's going to be strike 2 for Joey Bart. We're at 1-2 so far for Bart. Now here is the 1-2 pitch. Low for a ball that nearly got away. We're at 2-2 for Bart. And the 2-2 pitch. Foul tipped back, and that is going to be 2-2 still. We're going to try this again. Now here's the 2-2. Inside for a ball, 3-2. And now this is where things get very, very dangerous, where you are pinned down to a 3-2 count, which means that you get one more ball. Pirates are scoring in the run. We're at 3-2. The full count, the pitch, swing and a go to third base, and the throw to first in time. And the Mariners get out of the awful bases loaded jam. We go to the very next inning. Now it's going to be bottom of the fourth, and still 2-0 Mariners.
Try our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck.
Commercial break is still ongoing.
Now sizzling at Apollo Mediterranean Greek Food. Come enjoy our flat-top grilled Greek chicken and beef, Slovaki tender, juicy and bursting with Mediterranean flavor, served with savory yellow rice, fresh daily cut veggies for our crisp salads, homemade hummus, plus warm pita, and our signature tzatziki, perfect for a fresh filling meal made with care. Cold beer available. Order now at apollogreekfood.com. Come visit us for a delicious meal and a cold beer. We'd love to serve you.
And we are back from the break. Here's Cal Raleigh, and that is going to be up high for a ball. Cal Raleigh last time around, in the bottom of the first, he hit a 2-run home run. And that ball was just absolutely just destroyed. Now here's the 1-0. Up high for a ball, 2-0. He leads the Major League Baseball with 34 home runs, 2 home runs ahead of Aaron Judge. Now here's the pitch, and that is going to be a foul ball. That was a laser, and that's going to be 2-1. And now the 2-1, and that's going to be a strike. Cal Raleigh is now working on a 2-2 count. Now the 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that is going to be 1 out on a 93-mile-an-hour pitch. Yeah, it's crazy to think that I've got a lot of work to do with my room. Still got to put up all these jerseys. A lot of stuff. And now here's the 0-1. And that's going to be up high for a ball, 1-1 for Randy Arozarena. 1-0. Now here's the 1-0 pitch. And that's going to be a strike. We're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field that still could go. And that is gone. That is a home run for Randy Arozarena. It barely just left the field. And that is home run number 13 for Randy. And the Mariners now take a 3-0 lead. And Randy Arozarena has been absolutely on fire in this month of July so far. I think that's like 4 home runs in this month alone. Maybe more like 3, but still. What a show that he is putting on. And I mean literally a show that he's putting on, because he is the poser of this team. But I don't know. It's just his personality. I guess I'm just going to have to accept it. As long as he's backing it up with home runs, so be it. And now it's a 3-0 lead for the Mariners. Now here's Donovan Solano and a swing and a miss. And he has cooled off a bit since his hot month of June. As we're at 1-0 thus far. And now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to right field, and it's right to the right fielder. And that's going to be out. Yeah, Randy Arozarena was really happy about that. And that pitch just gets away real quickly. And now it's Mitch Garver up to the plate. Suddenly, Randy Arozarena's on pace to have the best season with this hot stretch. Yeah, he's very streaky. Lives and dies by streakiness. Now here's a fly ball to deep right center field. That still could be going. Nope, it will not. It'll be stopped by the Marine layer. And that's going to retire the side. And now we're on commercial break.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki-tiki with barbecue chicken. You put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki-tiki. Tiki-tiki with pineapple, garlic, feta cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're going to spread some barbecue on top. And it's ready. Put it on the oven. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
Oh, joy. Commercial break still going on. As I just found my tablet. It was in my car. And it's probably out of batteries right now. Let's see if it is. It's at 42%. I'm going to get it fired up and ready, though. Now we're at 1-0 for Isaiah Kiner Belefa. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Ben Williamson. Throw to first. And that is in time for the out. Now I got my tablet all ready to go. Wonder how my phone is doing. It's at 50%. I think I'm going to start charging this guy. And now here's the Horowitz. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, or a swing and a foul ball, shall I say. And that is strike one. Now we're at 2-1 for Horowitz. And now here's the 2-1. And that is a strike. Now that is 2-2. Now I gotta see if my Instagram is going off. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Donovan Solano. He gets it to first, and that is going to be in time. Always advertising the J-Rod squad. And here is Andrew McCutcheon up to the plate. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a swing and a miss, strike one. Now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 0-2 to McCutcheon. And the pitch. And what's it going to be? And I think that was a strike three. It doesn't even know what it was. My signal just pooped out. I think I just lost Wi-Fi for a moment. Let's fix this. Anyways, they just got out of the inning. Well, time to go to the bathroom.
Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make for Sahara Pizza. Beautiful thing.
And I am back. And we are back from the break. And that's going to be Dylan Moore taking it for a strike. And now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss. And that is going to be strike 2. Now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that is going to be 1 out. Now here's Ben Williamson, and that is going to be a foul ball. And now we're at 0-1 and the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. It's going to be strike 2. Ben Williamson at 1-2. Now here's the 1-2 pitch. Up high for a ball. 2-2. And the 2-2. And a foul ball. Two and two for the Ben Williamson with 1 out, nobody on the pitch. And he gets under it, and that's going to be popped up, and that is going to go into the right side, and the right fielder is there, and he makes the catch. That is Brian Reynolds. And now that is going to be 2 outs. Next is going to be Cole Young up to the plate, who is 0 for 1, who did strike out earlier. Falter at 62 pitches. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. Now we're at 1-0. The pitch. Ooh, inside. That nearly got him, and that is going to be 2-0. We're at the 2-0 count. And the 2-0 pitch. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. You should have swung at that one, Cole Young. We're at 2-1. Now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to right field, but it's going to be right to Brian Reynolds, and that is going to retire the side. And we will go into the next inning. And I know I've already shown this video, but here it is because I need a whole minute long to go to the bathroom.
So here I am with former slam dunk champion of the Seattle Supersonics, Desmond Mason, and we're here at the Lenny Wilkens after party. One of the greatest things I remember about him was his game-tying slam dunk to send the game to overtime against the Charlotte Hornets. Now, tell me about that. Like, what do you really remember about that moment?
The ball was going to Gary. We all knew that. Best thing was for everybody to get out of the way. And so I ran to the corner. Jamal Mashburn was actually guarding me. Rashard Lewis was under the basket. I think Brent Barry was on the floor as well. We threw the ball into Gary, and he took a dribble. We had a guy wide open at the top of the key, but he was never passing that ball. Spun, shot a three for the win. It hit the front of the rim, I think, and then the back of the rim and came off the front. And Jamal turned his head, and I just kind of ran in behind him. I was pretty far away, so I kind of threw it in, but I caught it lefty. I went up with my right to catch it, and it bounced the other direction. Lefty. Overtime. We beat him in overtime.
Thank you, Leo Nguyen, for filming this video. Check out his Instagram page, Leo Community Gardens, and he also sells cool merchandise, including the Seattle hat with Sonics colors. Whew. I'm back. Yeah, I gotta do something about that. Official beer, Seattle Mariners, Miller Lite, huh? Looks like we are back from the break. And it looks like we are back from the break as I am setting up my studio again. And now it's Brian Reynolds who's batting .236. Now the pitch. And that's going to be check swing. Did he go? He did. And that's going to be 0-2 for Brian Reynolds. 0 for 1 is Brian Reynolds. I believe he struck out last time. We're at the top of the sixth. Brian Wu at 84 pitches. And now the pitch. And that is outside for a ball. And I would imagine that this could be his Brian Wu's last inning, or he may go into the seventh inning. So we'll see on that one. And look at me. I'm due for a haircut. We're at 1-2 for Reynolds. And now here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three, and now that's going to be 1 out. Now the pitch. And that is going to be inside for a ball, 1-0. And for the number of Mariners games I have done this season, I am at 36. So getting close to surpassing my 2023 numbers. Now here's a ground ball. This could be trouble. And Ben Williamson, no, he has no play. He really had no shot. And now it's going to be a man on first base with 1 out. 2023, I had 39. And 2024, I had 60. So I'm already well on pace to pass. I mean, I'm going to pass 2023. That's a formality. Now it's about if I can break the 60 mark, which I'm still well in pace for that. I'm on pace for 88 games this season. Could be a little bit less than that, though. And now here's the pitch. And that is low for a ball. 36 games so far. And we got Eduardo Bizzardo is in the bullpen. It's surprising. He's actually been one of the best relievers for the Mariners. And now here's the 1-0. And that's going to be low for a ball. (2-0), and that is going to be a strike. We're at 2-1. And now here's the pitch. And that is a foul ball. We're at 2-2 for Cruz. And the 2-2. Swing and a miss, or swing and a fly ball to center field, and Julio makes the catch, and back to first base, and that is going to be a double play. The Mariners get out of an inning with a double play. I thought it was a swing and a miss because of the bad quality, but the Mariners make that amazing double play, and that will retire the side. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning. It is 3-0 Mariners. Wu is apparently in line to set sort of record if he gets through without giving up a walk. Randy, something. Yep, you're talking about Randy Arozarena already. No face. My favorite Oklahoma City Thunder fan. We've been commenting quite a bit. Happy 4th of July and belated congratulations to your NBA championship. Love this Sonics fan. Hey, I'm one of the few Sonics fans that doesn't let it bother me too much. It's the other ones that do. But I'm one of the few good apples. I swear on it. But here's some of the exchanges that we have had. And I got to put you on the spot on here, Oklahoma man. You wrote it to me going, the Thunder was not once the Seattle Supersonics. Your history ended when mine started. And I honestly hope to God Seattle gets an NBA team so Clay Bennett can give the history there. And we keep our history starting from 2008. No offense, but Thunder fans don't claim Seattle Supersonics and Seattle Supersonics don't claim Seattle Supersonics. It's two different histories into one. Cities being Seattle Supersonics and the other being Oklahoma. We got your franchise in history, but we will never claim it. You know what? Sonics fans would agree with you on that. You're not claiming our history. It's just that the legal document on paper said that we are sharing history, which should have never been done. We're separate history. We have nothing to do with Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma and Seattle, they don't even vote the same way. So it wouldn't make sense anyway. The pitch. And that is going to be outside for a ball. And Oklahoma, man, don't forget, look forward to me to do some NBA play-by-play. I'm looking forward to opening up a fan base of NBA basketball. And now the 1-0 to JP Crawford. And that is a strike. Baseball and basketball, I guess, will be the soul of my channel. I still got the football there and there, but that's just a whole different thing for me to follow. Braxton Ashcraft is in the bullpen. And now the pitch. Now it's a swing and a miss or swing and a foul ball. And strike 2. No face. Who is your favorite Oklahoma City Thunder player of all time? I know. And I'm one of the few fans that says that Seattle, they lost their team due to bad politics. And now the 1-2. And that's going to be a foul ball. Yeah, maybe if New Orleans had relocated, I don't know. But What's done is done. And here's the ironic thing, and I want you to listen to this, No Face. Had the Sonics never left Seattle, and I'm not saying it's a good thing, it's just an ironic thing, as we're at 1-2, the pitch outside for a ball. So had the Sonics never left Seattle, I would have met people from trying to fight for a new stadium. I actually met some really cool people, so my networking actually grew pretty substantially as we're at 2-2 for JP Crawford. And now the 2-2 pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field, and it makes the catch as Brian Reynolds, and that's going to be 1 out. So there is a silver lining that it got me more into basketball stuff more locally than, I guess, on a national basis. Because you know what they say, think globally, act locally. And that's, I guess, what I did, trying to get a stadium in Seattle, and my blue tape is just really weak. Now here's Julio Rodriguez up to the plate. And now here's the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to center field, and this could be blooping, and nope, that's going to be caught by the center fielder, and that is going to be 2 outs. Man, I don't know if this jersey thing is going to work. Now here is Cal Raleigh up to the plate. Maybe I'll just tape the... I'll think of something. And now here's the pitch to Cal Raleigh. And that is outside for a ball. Hey, no disrespect. As your team, Oklahoma City Thunder, they are a very well-built team run by very competent ownership, Clay Bennett, and general manager, Sam Presti, the 1-0. Now here's a fly ball to deep left field, and that could be enough. The fielder is there. Is he going to make the catch? No, that is gone. That is a home run for Cal Raleigh. That is his second home run of the game. Home run number 35, and he has tied Ken Griffey Jr. for the most home runs in Mariners history for the first half. And Cal Raleigh is also just 4 home runs away from tying Barry Bonds for the most home runs in Major League Baseball history in the first half. And yep, it is confirmed that he has tied with Ken Griffey Jr. home run number 35 before the All-Star break. And I believe that was in 1998, or it could also be 1994. But what a company Cal Raleigh is a part of. He is now in the same group as not only Ken Griffey Jr., he's also there with Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire, Barry Bonds, Ken Griffey Jr. He is in some very strong company. Cannot deny that one freaking bit. Yep, Cal Raleigh. It was also 1998 Ken Griffey Jr. So Cal Raleigh has another week to go to beat the Ken Griffey Jr. record. Yeah, all the hits have been home runs. What a goofy game. Yes, absolutely. It's been such a goofy game. Cannot deny that one bit. And coming in is going to be Ashcraft. The manager has seen enough, and now I'm going to be going into commercial break.
Try our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck.
Yeah, what do you think? I got my Desmond Mason jersey to hang up. Probably Serge Ibaka and James Harden and KD and Westbrook and SGA and Chet Holmgren. Pick one, buddy. Come on. Well, if I were to pick one, I'm going to say either Russell Westbrook. I'm torn between Russell Westbrook, Nick Collison, because he was a Sonic, and Serge Ibaka. I like the defense and the blocks. I think his OG nickname was Dr. Nasty. Yeah, believe it or not, I had my eyes on the Thunder for a while. Yeah, I was still an avid NBA follower even after the Sonics left. Which is kind of weird. The 0-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So, yep, I got my first jersey in the books. It's my Desmond Mason jersey. So I'm going to put it up there for now. Nick Collison was the definition of hustle. It's true. And now we're at 0-2, the pitch. Now here's a fly ball, more like a blooper, and that is going to be drop in for a base hit. And now we got Randy Arozarena on first base. Yeah, Nick Collison, like his numbers didn't even show diddly squat of how much impact he put in. But if you actually watch the games, he set the screens, gets rebounds, he hustled. Like there's a reason why Nick Collison was a very liked figure in Oklahoma. And from what I heard, I think he took some time to adjust to the culture of Oklahoma City as he was more of a Seattle guy, but he did embrace the team very well. And now he's a beloved figure in Oklahoma, which is why his number got retired. Now the pitch. Now here's a swing and it's a strike, and that's going to be thrown out. And Randy Arozarena is gone, and that's going to retire the side on a failed stolen base attempt. And we go to the next inning, and let's see what more things that I can put up. That's my Desmond Mason jersey. I think I'm going to put my Sonics poster up here. This was when they beat the Jazz in the 1996 NBA Finals. Your favorite, though, is Russell Westbrook, even though, yeah, he was a ball hog. Yep, he was quite a guy. But he was funny on the camera. He was an absolute savage. But Russell Westbrook he was a dog, I'll tell you that. Why am I saying it that way? No, Russell Westbrook was good. Don't get me wrong. He was great. But he was quite a guy to deal with his insane amount of ball hogging. Yep, you're going to see that is my Pizza Planet. Because I love pizza. Too bad the microphone's in the way. Maybe if I can do something like that. I don't know. Still got more to put up. Next, I got my Tottenham jersey. Don't know if I'm going to put that up. Here's a teal Mariners jersey. I think I should put that up. Yeah, while I'm doing the show, I am also putting up jerseys for my display. And then next should be my Seahawks jersey, Marshawn Lynch. Feeling that in that spot. Why, though? What are you talking about, TK? Be warned, No Face Man. You're going to deal with a lot of Seattle fans on my YouTube. You've been warned, Oklahoma boy. All right, let's see how that looks. Yeah, so you got a Mariners jersey in the background, and now here we're back from the break, and now here's Edward Bizzardo pitching, and that is going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1. And now here's the pitch, and that's going to be up high for a ball as we're at 1-1. Eduardo Bizzardo with a 2.78 ERA. He has actually came a long way. And now here's the 1-1. And now here's a fly ball blooper, and that's going to drop in and for a base hit. And now that's going to be Bizzardo, or that's going to be Hayes at second base or first base. What do you mean you're good? Oh, yeah. You've been warned, though. What else should I put up? I think I'm going to start putting up some jerseys over here because I don't want the window in my face because I don't have blinds yet. I mean, look at that. It's bright. Now here's the pitch, and that's going to be low for a ball. Now we're at 1-0. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a ball, 2-0. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball, 3-0. And Bizzardo is losing command. And it's not good because you don't have any outs right now to work with. And now we're at 3-0. And now here's the 3-0 pitch. And that is a strike this time. And we're at 3-1. And now here's the 3-1. And now here's a fly ball, and that's going to be a foul ball. 3-2. Full count on Adam Frazier, the former Mariner. We're at 3-2 the count. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball again. We're at 3-2 the count. And the pitch. And strike 3 called, and that was an obvious one, and now that's going to be 1 out. As we're in the top of the 7th inning. No Face says, I did do some digging, and Adam Silver said that when they expand to Seattle, I'm going to say if for now, is it's going to be first to get an NBA team back. I hope he is not talking out of his ass like he was a couple years ago. Adam Silver does talk out of his ass all the time. That's what I'm really worried about. And now the pitch, and that is a strike. But the reason why there might be more confidence this time is the potential ownership that is lined up to possibly get the NBA team would be the Kraken ownership. Believe it or not, they own not only the Kraken, but they are trying to be in line to own the future Seattle Supersonics, the pitch. And that gets away, and that's going to get the runner to second base. And now we're got a runner on second base as Mitch Garver just couldn't get the stop on that. Yeah, I mean, no Face, if you think about it, we're not that much different from each other. I think in terms of being basketball fans, Seattle and Oklahoma, we're not that much different at all. Like, we get it. We all are on the same page. We don't want your history and you don't want my history. We just want to be our own thing. As we're at 1-1. And now the pitch, and that is up high for a ball. And I do have a very unpopular narrative. I don't think the Sonics were stolen from Seattle. I think the Sonics was just mishandled. No, I don't think you guys, no, you didn't steal the team. And Clay Bennett, if you talk in legal terms, he actually bought the team legally. And now the pitch, and that's going to be a strike 2-2. Yeah, he bought the team, relocation, was able to negotiate to a settlement to break the last 2 years of the lease of Key Arena. That's how it happened. But it's nice to see some Thunder fans on my channel, which I would welcome them. That 2-2. And a swing and a miss, strike 3. Yep, Seattle has an WNBA team called the Seattle Storm. So believe it or not, I was actually a season ticket holder for the Seattle Storm from 2016 to 2019. Those are some pretty fun years. But yeah, Seattle Storm has been arguably the most successful franchise in WNBA history. Actually, I think they are the most successful. They have 4 WNBA championships, and I would say it's arguably more impressive than what, I guess, the Houston Comet. They only had a few teams to deal with, especially with with the initial pool of talent, the 0-1, and that's going to be outside for a ball, 1-1. And I think I better get my God Bless America because we're at 1 out right now. And I do sing God Bless America on 4th of July or anything if necessary. And we're at 1-1. Now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. I mean, hey, no Face. If I do have a heavy amount of interest. Like, I definitely want to come back to, I want to visit Oklahoma someday. Another 2-1. And that's a foul ball. And I want to come as a Sonics fan. I will deck out in my Desmond Mason jersey because he is an Oklahoma guy as well. He was a Cowboy, played for you guys in the initial season of 2008-9. As we're at 2-2. And now here's the 2-2 pitch. And that's going to be just outside for a ball, 3-2. And Bizzardo is steaming at the umpire like, why wasn't that given to him? But not everything is ever given to you. And umpires, they will not give anything. As we're at 3-2. And now here's the pitch. Outside for ball 4, take your base. Not only that, now we got a runner on third base as well. Yeah, Seattle Storm is the WNBA team. Yep, Seattle still has a WNBA team. And at one point, Clay Bennett actually owned the Seattle Storm, but then a group of Seattle women actually negotiated to buy out. They bought the they bought the Storm back. They bought the Storm. So believe it or not, Oklahoma was actually in line to get the Seattle Storm. That would have been even more depressing if we lost both the NBA and the WNBA. You're welcome to come. I'll be there. I mean, hey, will Seattle fans be nice to me? Are they going to be like, haha, we took your team? Like, what do you expect the vibes to be like if a Seattle fan shows up to Oklahoma? What should I expect? And now the pitch. And that is low for a ball. I mean, I'll be very curious what Oklahoma is like. And if you have any food advice to give me, I mean, what kind of food do you guys have? Like, what's your most favorite restaurant in Oklahoma? As we're at 1-0 for Horowitz. And that's going to be a ball. Yeah, I would love to come to Oklahoma. I want to go to Oklahoma. Definitely want to go there. I want to go to Sacramento and Portland. As we're at 2-0. Now here's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and that is strike one. Since Seattle has WNBA court team, if Seattle gets NBA team, they use a WNBA court. So the arena right now, the pitch, and that's going to be 2-2. The arena as of now is the Climate Pledge Arena. That is designed for, it's multi-purpose. It's designed for the NBA, WNBA, and the NHL. So they're going to share stadiums. As we're at 2-2. Now here's a 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike three. And Bizzardo gets out of a jam. And we go to the bottom of the seventh inning. And I believe it is time for God Bless America. And as soon as they start, I will start myself. So everyone stand up. And for the rendition of God Bless America. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night from the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. Yeah, that was a pretty bad ending. Now let's do the seventh inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. And now time for the Louie Louie. Hello, hello, way. Oh no, say we gotta go. Yeah, 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 yeah. Louie, Louie. Oh, they say we gotta go. A fine little girl, she waiting for me. I catch a ship across the sea. A ship all alone. We never think how I'll make it home. Louie, Louie. Na 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 na. Say we gotta go.
Taco lovers, this one's for you. Come enjoy tacos autenticos at Snoqualmie Mexican food truck, packed with flavor, made with love, and always fresh. Try our carne asada, al pastor con piña, and more. Topped with cebolla, cilantro, y a squeeze of lime. Pair it with a cold drink and relax at our outdoor seating. Perfecto para disfrutar. Find us at the Snoqualmie Mexican food truck, open daily. Ven con hambre, sal fies.
As you can see, I'm still setting up my stuff. And now this one is next. Oh, gotta get ready. We are back from the break. We are back from the break, and now here's Donovan Solano, and now the pitch, and that is low for a ball. And all of you all didn't know, if Seattle gets NBA team back, Clay Bennett has agreed to give your history back. Yeah, of course, it's in the agreement. Now here's a line drive to right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. And Donovan Solano will get to first base with a single. So I might be old. Now here's the thing. I mean, naturally, we all agree that we want separate history. Like, we all hate the shared history, but here's my twisted thinking on the shared history. At least it gives Seattle attention when ESPN is like, oh yeah, the Oklahoma City Thunder did this. Last time they did it in their history was when Sean Kemp and Gary Payton did this back in 1996. So at least Seattle gets attention for it. So I don't think it's all bad or anything. It's just that I guess some are sensitive to those about the whole history thing. But you know what? We get the attention. Now here's 0-1. And now here's the pitch. And I'm sure that you wouldn't even want to claim the fact that Seattle Supersonics were the first NBA team in history become the first seed in the playoffs to lose to a number 8. So I'm sure that Oklahoma wants nothing to do with that history anyway, which is why the shared history thing is a bit silly. And yeah, y'all, and if all y'all didn't know, if Seattle gets it, yeah, we get the history back and the logos. Now the pitch and swing and a miss, and that is strike 3. But yeah, going with the rivalry, you know, we all know that the media is really going to push that to the core. We know that for sure. I'm going to get that jersey up. Let's do this. All right. And here is Dylan Moore, who is 0 for 2. And that is going to be a strike. Yeah, you hate that. Like, I think that's the thing. I really do think that basketball-wise, us fans are not that much different at all. We want our own thing. It'll just be interesting. The only thing I'm really nervous about is I just want Seattle Supersonics to be as competitive as Oklahoma has been. I mean, they've been competitive for pretty much majority of their history. And we're at 1-1 for Dylan Moore. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. I appreciate that. I mean, imagine an Oklahoma Seattle game. I really wonder what the vibe is going to be like, because I definitely want to go to both games for that. We're at 2-1. Now here's the pitch.
Now here's a fly ball to deep left field, and that is gone. That is a home run for Dylan Moore. He finally gets a home run, especially off of that slump, and that is his 9th home run of the season. And the Mariners now lead it 6-0, and that ball just left out in a hurry. 105-mile-an-hour exit velocity, and here we go. And let's keep the runs coming in. Dylan Moore, who's had a very frustrating last 2 months, basically, finally gets the monkey off his back, at least for this one, with a home run. Now here's Ben Williams up to the plate. Now here's a ground ball right to third base. Toss over the first, and that's going to be in time. Now it's 6-0 Mariners, believe it or not. But yeah, I really wonder what it's going to be like if I go to an NBA game as a Sonics fan in Oklahoma. And I definitely want to go to the one in Seattle as well. And now we got Cole Young, who's 0 for 2, and that is a strike. It'll be very interesting how we'll interact together between a Sonics game and Oklahoma game going forward. But for the first ones, I definitely want to go to those myself. The 0-1, and that is going to be a ball. I mean, as much as I'm a baseball fan, and baseball is always going to be my number one sport, for some reason, the Seattle Supersonics are my favorite team growing up. It's kind of weird. I'd rather watch the Sonics, but yeah, I'm a baseball guy. So that's why I think basketball is now my second favorite sport. As we're at 2-1. Now here's Cole Young batting .237 and a swing and a miss. Well, the crazy thing is I will have NFL, NHL, MLB, WNBA, NBA. Yeah, it is pretty much crazy. The crazy thing, too, is I actually know about your origin stories of Oklahoma basketball. I actually have a pulse about it. I actually read some history about how you guys became the Thunder 2-2, and that's going to be popped up and fouled. And it all started back in that 1995. Unfortunately, some crazy guy bombed the federal building in Oklahoma. I think that's what it was. The bombing of 95. And now the pitch. And that is a strike. It was the Alfred Murrah. Actually, it's a strike 3. It was the Alfred Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City on April 19th, 1995. The bombing remains as the deadliest act of domestic terrorism in USA history. And now, why was this? What was the significance of this story? The significance was it ironically inspired the city of Oklahoma to build a basketball stadium because they knew that when something like that happens, the biggest bombing in history of the United States, and it's only fitting to talk about it on 4th of July. I think that the mayor of Oklahoma at the time, he was like, we got to build a stadium. We got to bring the hopes up. And believe it or not, Clay Bennett was the guy that wanted to bring a team to Oklahoma City. So without the Seattle perspective, it is a pretty inspiring story, I must say. Too bad it just had to come at the cost of my team leaving. But hey, I guess we were a part of some sort of positive history, I guess. And commercial break is still ongoing. It really does. Especially when it was arguably the most bottom part of Oklahoma's history. And now you guys have a championship basketball team, which I thought it was due. I figured it was going to happen. When you have Sam Presti, and here's a funnier thing, No Face. It was technically a Seattle guy who actually rebuilt your dynasty, arguably, because Seattle owner of the owner of the Clippers from Seattle, Steve Ballmer, signed off on that Paul George trade, giving up 5 first-round picks. Some of them may be pick swaps, One of them became Jalen Williams. All just for Paul George. Who would have thought? And luckily, Houston, they didn't really get much out of the bad end on that trade either. And now we're back from the break here in the top of the 8th inning. Now the pitch. And that is a strike. We got 4 home runs today by the Mariners. 2 by Cal Raleigh, Randy Arozarena with a home run, and Dylan Moore. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Trent Thornton. Throw to first. And that is in time. And that is going to be 1 out. 5 outs away from a Mariners convincing victory to take game 1 of this series. Best part of Dylan Moore home run guarantees Cal Raleigh 1 more crack at the plate in the 8th inning if Dan Wilson doesn't sit him down, which he probably should. Well, I guess we'll see what we can do. If maybe give Cal Raleigh a chance for a 3 home run game. And now the pitch, and that is outside for a ball. We're at 1-0 for Brian Reynolds. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up into center field. And Julio's going to be there. And he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs. Man, I gotta oh my gosh, I gotta untangle all these look at this. I gotta untangle. Yeah, OG Xbox controller. Oh man. Just gotta wrap it all up and put it away. Man, I have 4 OG Xbox controllers, and I don't even think I'm done counting that. As you can see, No Face, you walked into my inaugural show after the move in, and now here is to Cole Young, and that's going to retire the side, and that will retire the side. And now I'm going to see if I can put another jersey out there. Do a Hasselbeck jersey. And there's more to it. Russell Wilson, Desmond Mason, Ichiro, Marshawn Lynch, Matt Hasselbeck, and Julio Rodriguez. Wonder if there's more. Of course there is. This is not fun. Untangling stuff is the least favorite part of my unpacking. Literally just threw these in here, and now I'm just gonna. And now we're back from the break, and now here's J.P. Crawford from Ashcraft, and that is gonna be up high for a ball. A lot of busy work. Finally got that controller out, and now the pitch, and that's gonna be in there for a strike. As we're at 1-1 to count. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a ground ball foul. We're at 1-2 for JP.
And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. And now we got J.P. Crawford at first base with a no-out single. And now we got Julio Rodriguez after the plate. Now we're at 1-0 for Julio. Reached on an error in first. Now the run. Now here's a popped up to right field, and that's going to be caught right into the marine layer, and that is going to be 1 out. And now here's Cal Raleigh, who is 2 for 3 with a home run. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And excuse me, it was 2 home runs, but that is going to be caught by the left fielder. And that is going to be 2 outs. As we are preparing to go into the top of the 9th inning. And this game has been breezing along. It's been just 2 hours and 12 minutes. Most multi-home run hit games in team's first 88 games. Cal Raleigh's tied with 7. How technical could they really get about that? And that is going to be inside for a ball. As we're at a 1-0. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that is going to complete this inning. And that is going to retire the side. And we're going to go into the top of the 9th inning.
Try our delicious burgers today. Satisfy your cravings with our mouth-watering burgers. Double cheeseburger with classic double beef patties with melted cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, onion and house sauce, a fresh, flavorful delight. Double bacon cheeseburger, crispy bacon, fried onions, barbecue sauce, and double cheese. Double guacamole bacon burger, double cheese, crispy bacon, guacamole, lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and our special house sauce. Pair any burger with fries with an ice-cold drink for the perfect meal. Come down and taste the difference. You can only find these burgers at our Snoqualmie Mexican food truck.
Still on commercial break, huh? Oh, still gonna work on this. Wow, hope you didn't see that shirt. Good. And my Tottenham jersey just fell. There we go. And we are back from the break. And it looks like Trent Thornton is going to get another inning, as he should, because he got out of it real quickly last inning. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. And now here's O'Neal Cruz. He is 0 for 2. Now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. As we're at 1-1 thus far. And the pitch. And that is going to be low for a ball, 2-1. As we are on the verge of ending this show. If the Mariners win, Brian Wu will get a very convincing victory. Cal Raleigh, 2 home runs. Dylan Moore rebounding. And now here's popped up center field. And Julio, or Randy, should be there. And Julio makes the catch. And that is going to be 1 out. We got 2 outs to go until the ending of this game. And this game's been breezing along really fast. It's been 2 hours and 17 minutes. And this game's on the verge of ending. Now here is another pop-up to right field. Norik first base. And Donovan Solano makes the catch. And now the Pirates are now down to their final out. And who is the man going to be up to the plate? It is going to be Hayes, or actually, no, it's going to be the former Mariner, Adam Frazier. Fans are standing up. It has been a really quick game. One of the more faster games, if I can remember. And now here we are. And that's going to be low for a ball. Now I got 3 more controllers completely tangled up. And now we're at 1-0 from Adam Frazier. He's got 3 strikeouts, the pitch, and that's going to be a ground ball foul. And right after the show, I will be taking off because I got stuff to clean. I mean, look at this. And now the pitch. And now here's a liner to right field, and that is going to be a base hit. And now Adam Frazier keeps this game alive for the Pirates. Now here's Bart, who is 0 for 3. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. We're at 0-1 so far. 2 strikes away from a Mariners victory. The pitch, swing and a miss, strike 2, and it's game time. Well, we're at 0-2, 1 strike away. Brian Wu pitched very, very well. He only gave up, how many hits did he give up? He only gave up 3 hits, and now we're down to the final strike. Here's the 0-2 pitch, outside for a ball. As if we were all anticipating for the ending of this game, but not quite yet. But we're getting there. As now we're at 1-2 for Bart. Let's try this again. 1-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss, strike 3, and the ball game is over. The Mariners take game 1 of this 3-game series with a nice victory over the Pittsburgh Pirates, contributed well by Brian Wu and his amazing pitching. Then you got Cal Raleigh's 2 home runs, poser boy Randy Arozarena with a home run, and a home run by Dylan Moore. And of course, my Russell Wilson jersey fell. How embarrassing. But anyways, the game is over. And I am going to be signing off. And Andre Gabriel, yeah, I'm sorry, buddy. And you just got into the show, but I'm about to be taken off. And everyone, thank you for being part of my inaugural live streaming at this new house that I just moved into. All right, everyone, have a happy 4th of July. Happy Independence Day.